It has been a busy week inside the Statehouse as lawmakers work to wrap things up. But Medicaid expansion is still a major sticking point, and a bill that would make it harder for Idahoans to get an initiative on the ballot is again making headway. 6 on Your Side's McKenna King is live in studio with the latest in our continuing coverage.
Two competing Medicaid expansion bills are up for a vote at the Statehouse as lawmakers debate whether to add a work requirement to voter-approved Medicaid expansion. Republican Representative John Vanderwoude's House Bill 277, which would create requirements that able-bodied adults in the Medicaid system work, train, or volunteer at least 20 hours a week, passed the House Thursday and now heads to the Senate for a vote. Meanwhile, Republican Senator Fred Martin's Senate Bill 1204, which would include voluntary work training, is also awaiting vote on the Senate floor. If approved, it would then head to the House next week. Both bills would make Medicaid expansion void if federal funding for the program falls below 90% in the future. And legislation that would make it harder to get an initiative or referendum on the Idaho ballot has narrowly passed the Senate. Senators voted 18-17 to send the bill to the House. As 6 on Your Side reported, the legislation put forward by Republican Senator C. Scott Grow would seriously increase the number of signatures needed to qualify for the ballot, while dramatically reducing the time to collect those signatures. Grow and others say it should be hard to get issues on the ballot and that signature gatherers should have to canvass the whole state. The bill would require those seeking ballot initiatives to get signatures from 10% of voters in 32 of Idaho's 35 districts. That's up from current rules, which require signatures from 6% of voters in 18 districts. The bill would also cut the time allowed to gather the signatures from a year and a half to just 180 days. Opposition for this bill say changes would make the Idaho initiative process impossible, except for big money special interest groups.
Majority leadership having put out a press release a week before the bill even came to the House, almost exactly, having put out a press release saying that the House majority supports the bill, tells me that they were the real engines behind the bill and they are the ones who want this bill, and come hell or high water, they're going to pass this bill.
But Representative Erpelding says if the initiative bill does pass the House like he predicts, that won't be the end of it. He believes lawsuits will follow. Governor Little signs into law a bill to help police identify and prosecute serial rapists. The new law will now require all rape and sexual assault kits to be tested. Representative Melissa Wintrow of Boise put the bill forward and says although evidence would be collected, it would often sit on a shelf collecting dust, never making it to the database. Wintrow says this is a historic victory for survivors and for Idaho. And so far, the governor has signed into law 200 bills in this legislative session, but we've still got some big bills to be debated.
I know they want to wrap things up, but there's still plenty of work
to
be
done, Medicaid
right?
expansion and this initiative bill are some of the biggest to hit the House and Senate floors. So, yeah.
All right. Thanks for that report, McKenna.